What's up, everyone? October football is here, and we're happy to be back on your airways alongside our hosts, Kevin and Durp. I'm Brandon. Today, we welcome back Nick and welcome Smitty into the studio. What's up, man? Tell us about yourself and your NFL team.
What up? What up? What's good, football fans? Smitty here. Just a humble 49ers fan from the DMV. Used to live in Tampa as a kid. My pops worked security for old Houlihan Stadium, the old big sombrero
Wow.
back in the Creamsicle Bucks days. He
Wow.
took me up there one Sunday to go see the Niners come to town. First live game I ever been to. Got to meet, shake hands with, the likes of Montana, Rice, Young, after they came in and whipped up on the Bucks. Been bang bang Niner gang ever since, red and gold till I'm dead and cold. So I come to the podcast here. Been chopping it up with Durp about football for several years now. We go back a little ways. So I jumped at the opportunity for the invite to come on. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me. Let's chop it up.
Absolutely. You smooth on the mic, too.
Yeah, that's
So charismatic.
Thank you.
He is.
All right, everyone. This is the Purple Huddle Podcast. It's time for our 2-minute drill. Kevin, speak your mind about our Ravens.
Really want me to do this, okay? Let's see. The scheming was crap in the second half. They blew a 20-point lead. Harbaugh decided to go for it on 4th and 1 instead of kicking a field goal.
Yep.
This is everything they did in the Miami game to cause a freaking collapse. We should be 4-0. No, we're 2-2. Why? Because you don't leave points on the damn field. It is bad when your own defensive players are coming after the head coach and screaming in his face.
Yeah, Peters.
It's bad, right? It's bad when your own kicker says in the press conference he don't even know why he's even activated if they're never going to use him. And then you hear this as the head coach. You come on the next thing and you double down on your decision. Man, I got a feeling things got to get better, or Harbaugh's butt's going to be out the door.
Definitely him and McDonald.
Yep, him. Boy, I don't blame McDonald on that one. I blame offense.
I blame him too.
They got shut out in the second half. So where were your adjustments?
Well,
defense can only play so much. I put that second half square on the back of the offense.
Greg Roman, he been under fire since he been there, so I ain't gonna put no more blame on. No more blame on him.
I put that square on them, and I also put a square on your upper management because you know damn well we've needed a pass rush for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You knew you had no goddamn clue what Ronnie Stanley's going to be. Instead of going for a left tackle, you draft 4 right tackles and pray one can flip. That's like saying, okay, I'm gonna hire you. I need a right-handed pitcher, so I'm gonna go back to baseball reference. I need a right-handed pitcher, so I'm gonna draft 3 left-handed pitchers to see if I can convert one. Doesn't work that way.
It's a crazy 2 minutes.
I know, right? All right, Nick. How do you feel after that London win for your Vikings?
I have no words. I really don't have any words. We played that game a little too close for comfort, and I like how we got Justin Jefferson involved, 10 catches, and we exposed freaking Marcus Lattimore's scrub ass for the scrub that he is up there talking all that shit. And Justin Jefferson exposed him, but it was a good game. And again, like I keep saying, Kirk Cousins, he plays just like Matt Ryan when it comes to these games. It's a Falcons game, and like I really have no. I'm trying to find words to like explain, but I just don't. I just don't. It
Straight up Vikings football.
Yeah, it's Vikings football. It really is, and I have to embrace the Kirk Cousins effect.
Yeah.
I have to embrace the Kirk Cousins effect. That's all I have to say about it.
All right, Durp, your Cowboys, they've won 3 straight after crushing the Commanders at home. Give it to us.
Damn, that sounds good when you say it like that. We didn't get the 37 sacks that Nick said we were going to get, but we applied pressure.
They actually called plays. They called plays.
Hey, well, yeah. Not really too much to say. I mean, defense. I feel like our defense right now is maybe top 3 to 5 in the league. We're tied for second in sacks with San Fran. Shout out to Smitty. We're only one behind the Eagles. Just a really solid game all around. Cooper Rush is out here doing his thing. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions so far. CD's looking like a solid wide receiver 1. Complimentary players are doing that. Exactly that. They're being complimentary, doing everything we need them to do. This win marks 8 straight against NFC East. So we basically own this division. And it doesn't look like Dak's going to play because they're saying he can't grip a football right just yet. But I'm fine with that because we're doing just fine without him.
Wait, I tell you, Durp.
Hey, man, you can keep on singing it.
You can keep on singing it.
It's fine. It's fine, man. Like I said, I'm more than happy to be wrong in this situation.
I told you when he went down, you'd be fine with Cooper Rush. I told you that.
Hey, if I'd have known that we had Cooper Clutch ready to come in here and do his thing, I'd have been perfectly fine with it. But I'm happy I was wrong.
I said the luck of the Irish. Luck of the Irish.
So the Packers, they needed every last second of regulation and then overtime to beat the Patriots on Sunday afternoon. Final score was 27-24.
Back to me, right? When you need overtime to beat the likes of Bailey Zapp and Brian Hoyer, let me repeat this again. When you have Aaron Rodgers and you're the Green Bay Packers, and you need overtime to beat a quarterback named Bailey Zapp and Brian Hoyer, you in trouble. I don't know if they were just having an off day, because Rodgers did throw for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. And also threw for an interception too. But come on, man. 2 fumbles, 1 lost fumble. It's almost like Aaron Rodgers relaxed a little too much. I mean, they won the game, and yeah, I'm happy for them. They won the game. But come on, this shouldn't even have been a contest. That man needs receivers, and he needs a band. And I don't know when it's going to finally get into the heads of the upper management to get him receivers. But I'm sorry, but at the likes of Alan Lazard, Romeo Dobbs, Randall Cobb is just old. They need to get this man some help. It wasn't pretty.
No, it wasn't pretty at all. I don't think it's gonna be pretty for a while. But like he said, they need to have patience with these receivers or whatever. Romeo Dobbs seems to be coming along. They were very high on him in the preseason, but this defense can only carry them so far. Since we got these 2 Michigan guys here, I think we need to give a shout out to Rashawn Gary. He's had a sack in every single game this year. So
say that again. Say that again. Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary. He's had a sack in every single game this year. I feel like that's kind of flying under the radar.
All right, go Blue.
Yeah, the Packers, Aaron Rodgers threw for 244 passing. They rushed for almost 200, but then you still need overtime to beat like he said, Bailey Zappi. And I think it just comes down to when you're not prepared to play somebody. Nobody had tape on this guy. Most people didn't even know who he was until he got drafted by the Patriots. So I just feel like they kind of got caught off guard. They weren't really prepared, didn't know what to look for. But at the end of the day, they definitely underperformed because it doesn't matter. If you're going to be a championship caliber team, you shouldn't struggle to beat 3rd and 4th string, 2nd string quarterbacks like they did. So we'll see where it goes. But if this offense don't catch up with this defense soon, then they won't be one of those divisions.
Yeah. You said something there though, Durp. You said preparation, right? Like who could be prepared for Bailey Zappi or whatever. I'm gonna tell you who. Because going into this one, like a lot of folks, I expected New England to struggle against the Packers defense. They've been looking hot this year, especially with no Mac Jones under center. Well, silly us, because just like always, Bill had his roster ready to play. Time and time again, he shows us why he's an absolute shoo-in for the Hall of Fame as a coach. Simply put, he gets it done.
Yep.
I mean, no matter who's on the roster, who's hurt, who they're playing, he finds a way to keep them competitive. Almost stole one from Rodgers here. 3rd string QB. And then to echo Durp again, a big Big Ten shout out to my guy, Rashawn Gary. Michigan alum, making big plays for the Packers defense when they need it most.
No, I got to second that because people keep sleeping on Bill Belichick's defense, and he keeps proving everybody wrong. Like at the end of the day, Bill Belichick puts his players in position to win the game. They they was in the position to win the game yesterday. They played a good game,
And I'm gonna chime in real quick. Bill
but
Belichick is such a. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Nick.
no, you got
No, I was about to say, Bill Belichick's such a genius. This man has an offense clicking with a defensive coordinator calling plays.
Finally.
Yeah.
It wasn't the first 3 games.
No, it wasn't. But I'm saying this man. No, but I'm saying this man. I got an offense starting to click with a defensive coordinator calling plays.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah, definitely a good point. But again, it's early in the season, and freaking Aaron Rodgers, like I said, he gave the RELAX speech, and it's still early. He's gonna eventually he's gonna find a way, and
Yep.
he's gonna show why he's Aaron Rodgers.
That he
Like,
will.
it's just, and we also have to realize he didn't play in the preseason. This is his preseason games. Like seriously, where I think we really are overreacting to this shit.
Well, the Packers, they'll be traveling to London on Sunday morning to take on the New York Giants, while New England, they'll return to Foxborough and they'll be hosting the Lions. Derp, for me watching that Jags-Eagles game, I thought it was like in a water park and not at Lincoln Financial Field. But in the end, the Eagles are the only remaining undefeated team.
Yeah, so for me, this was just more about Trevor Lawrence's how terribly he was taking care of the ball. And the Eagles they rallied from down 14-0, scored 20 unanswered points in the second quarter, and then both teams go scoreless in the third. The Jags are much like the Lions for me. They don't know how to be good. You know, like the Jags a couple years ago just were in the AFC Championship or whatever, and then they were like, you're like, okay, finally they get it together, and they just don't know how to like maintain success. The Jags beat the Chargers, and then they come in and then they go up 14-0, and then they just don't know how to keep their foot on the gas or whatever it may be. Both teams were terrible in conversions. On third down, the Eagles were 4 for 15, Jags were 2 for 7, but the Eagles were very aggressive, and they went for it 5 times on fourth down, which is just absurd, and got 3 of them. The Eagles doubled the Jaguars' time of possession, and like I said, I think this game just came down to the turnovers and the pressure on Trevor Lawrence. 1 interception, it's okay, but 4 lost fumbles. Nobody can win like that. It doesn't matter who you are. Nobody can win like that. And yeah, I just think that these Eagles just keep finding a way to win, and hopefully they stop figuring it out.
To me, it was a Trevor Lawrence's issue with ball handling, but to me too, it was also rushing. I mean, if you look at it, Jacksonville had 71 total rushing yards. Eagles had 210. When you rush for that many yards, when they rush disparity for that many yards, you're going to control the ball. And the fact that the defense gave up 20 unanswered points in the second half, it was pretty much at that point when they came back and scored. I knew that game was over because the Jaguars somehow learned how to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It's kind of like what the Ravens been doing for the last 2 weeks. But I digress. 4 lost fumbles, 1 interception. This is a man that people were having as possible MVP coming in as the MVP, and he put that up on the board. When I first saw with the Jaguars Eagles, I was like, "Where's the defense?" Second quarter, Jacksonville figured out they were the Jaguars. The Eagles realized we're the Eagles. That was all she wrote at that point. It was pretty much over.
Yeah, pretty solid summary so far. I mean, I don't have too much to say on this one either. I'll start with the easy point though, and that is Philly is a strong contender to win the NFC East right now with what they've been showing us all so far. I think a lot of it comes down to whether or not Hurts stays healthy. He is quarterbacking that team to victory right now. I'm seeing a lot of rushing from him though, so that's where the worry comes from. Take it from a team who lost our 3rd overall pick earlier this season. to a running play. I think Hurts has a lot more experience than Lance, so I don't think he's as prone to situations like that. But we'll see how it shakes out. Now, on the other side of the matchup, the Jags came in on a little bit of a streak. They've been looking pretty good so far. They've been playing solid football under new coach Doug Peterson. It's a familiar name for them Philly fans.
Yep.
Their only Super Bowl victory is because of that man right there. Unfortunately for the Jags, the Philly weather turned out to be a little bit too much for second-year QB Trevor Lawrence. He had some very costly issues with ball security, but I will say it wasn't just him. I mean, there was he had the fumbles, he had the off-target passes, but there were some on-target passes too that just went through guys' hands. Can't have that. Can't have that. What I will say though is, directly to the Jags fans, you got to keep your chins up. I mean, after last year's debacle with Urban Meyer at the helm, I mean, there's a lot to like about the development of this young roster, especially as they continue to build and put pieces around the explosive elements.
Only up from here.
I just
guys.
feel the Jaguars, they missed a great opportunity to make a statement. They got off to a quick lead, 14-0, and they gave up the lead and wound up letting the Eagles come back and win the game. Jalen
You
Hurts.
just wanted your bold prediction to be right.
Yes, I did. I did. I really wanted my bold prediction. I wanted my bold, and I was right for the most part until Trevor Lawrence started giving the ball back to him. But I just don't trust. I don't trust Jalen Hurts. I really don't. I don't trust him. I do not trust that dude. They run again. I keep saying this. They run too many RPOs. They run too many RPOs for offensive team. If you really think Jalen Hurts is going to be the person that's going to take your team and navigate your team through the season and get you to the Super Bowl, I don't believe it. And if he proves me wrong, I'll be the one to say I'm gonna eat crow and say I was wrong, but I just don't believe it. The Jaguars, they like he said, they like the Lions. They don't know how to close out games. Eventually, hopefully, if they stop making stupid plays, freaking Trevor Lawrence fumbling the ball 4 times, all that crap. If they cut that crap out, they'll be a better team. But yeah, the Jaguars lost the game. The Eagles didn't win. That's what I took from it.
You're listening to the Purple Huddle Podcast with Kevin and Durp, plus our guests, Nick and Smitty. I hear with some tough sledding for Durp's Hokies on Saturday. He's here with the Hokey Pokey. Fill me in on what happened.
Well, we were flat out outplayed, outcoached, outscored, outfootballed, out everything. Doesn't matter how you look at this game. The game began just like any other game begins with us winning in the first quarter, and then we just go home. I don't know. We were outscored to the tune of 34-7 after that. They almost doubled our total yards, and they were a perfect 3 for 3 on third down. We managed to only commit 3 penalties for 22 yards this time, but it really didn't matter. And now we have to trudge to a 3-2 Pittsburgh team at 2-3, and will attempt to play beyond the first quarter this time against the Panthers. They possessed a potent passing attack with senior quarterback Keaton Slovis, who is nearing 1,000 passing yards on the season, thanks in part to a towering 6'5" tight end in Gavin Bartholomew, who is averaging an astonishing 17 yards per reception, and a formidable running game that is closing in on 900 yards and 11 touchdowns for the year. Us Hokie faithful can only hope to slow them down and actually make it a game, because we need it. Damn it.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, everyone. If you haven't noticed, Smitty's 49ers, they have ownership of the Rams in the regular season. They played on Monday Night Football. Niners won 24-9.
Oh yeah. You said it. I mean, I've been saying it for a while. I'm glad everybody else is starting to see it now too. But ever since we drafted Debo, it seems like the Rams look at this rivalry on the schedule 2 times a year, and every time they see it, they hear that creaky ass bike rolling up the block. That and you know what time it is there. It's time to tuck your chains, because when Debo's cooking, it's all bully ball on the menu. Now, I could go on about my team for hours, but I'm gonna keep it to a couple points. I'm gonna hammer these home for you real quick. So first, I gotta give it up to my guy D'Amico Ryans, the defensive coordinator. Second year as our D coordinator. Been with the staff now for like 6 years, I believe. He was
Yes.
there as a positional coach, I think, under now Jets head coach Robert Saleh. It was a shame to see him go, but D'Amico is filling those shoes very nicely. Love this guy as a player. I love him even more calling shots on defense. He's got a stellar squad. He's got him firing on all cylinders, no doubt. And it'll be bittersweet when it happens, but you all will see this man as a head coach somewhere before it's all over. As for the players on defense, I mean, Fred Warner just might be the best linebacker in the league. Bosa's off to a solid start opposite the rookie Drake Jackson. That's somebody I look to for consistency that we sorely lacked with D Ford. That dude, I mean, we paid that man a whole bunch of free money to do absolutely nothing. How many snaps he take for us when he was here? Ridiculous. So it's good to see somebody in there who's actually there. Now, if we're talking lights out play, right? Keep your eyes on second year safety and new starter Talanoa Hufanga. Reports are that he's been getting mentored by former Steeler Troy Polamalu, and let me just say the similarities between them doesn't end at the flowing locks protruding from the back of their helmets. This boy displays a ball hawk's nose for the football. And did y'all catch that expert read on the attempted wide receiver screen late in the game?
Mhm.
Jumping the route when he saw his receiver make the move to try and pick the corner up to free Cup. Coming down with the ball himself, he scoots off to the end zone for the defensive house call to seal the victory. That play doesn't happen without preparation, which brings me to my second point. I'm gonna clear my throat so I can say this and be heard very clearly, right? I will not stand for Jimmy G slander. You can call it luck, and I'm gonna call you a casual. But the big play to Debo for the touchdown, right? That little quick out that he throws high. Peyton Manning said it on the cast. Seems like it was luck, right? But if Jimmy puts that ball anywhere else, that's not a touchdown for us. You put that pass on Debo's numbers, that's house call the other way. Jimmy put it where only his man could make the play, and make the play he did. It's that simple. Everybody likes to knock this man. All he does is win. It's all he does is win. We're gonna overlook that whatever it was last week in Denver. This was the real Niners here. This was the real Niners last night. Now we just got to keep it going, moving forward.
Hey, all I gotta say is Jimmy G, you played a good game. And I have to give you some pushback on that. I'm going to give you some pushback on it. That touchdown he threw the Debo, it should have been a pick.
It should have been a pick. I agree with you. If Trey Lance throws that, it's a pick 10 out of 10 times. But Jimmy, you think we don't practice that play? Jimmy's great with the short field. Accuracy that's never been the knock on him. Short accuracy.
Jimmy G made a bad throw. It was a bad throw. Debo turned it into a touchdown. That's the thing where you have to just come to that conclusion. Either way, the 49ers own the freaking Rams. They own them. You have to come to that conclusion. Every single time the 49ers play the Rams, it seems like the Rams don't know what the hell they're doing. Freaking Matt Stafford, he gets into the red zone, don't get touchdowns, he kicks field goals. Throwing picks. It was at the end of the day, you just have to come to the conclusion the 49ers own the Rams. And they proved it. They played a great game and they deserve to win the game. And that is my whole take from it.
What else can you say? The Rams had 21 first downs to San Francisco's 13 first downs. The Rams had 73 plays to San Francisco's 49 plays. San Francisco outpassed them, they outrushed them, they outscored them. Time of possession for the Rams was 34 minutes, 34 seconds. Time of possession for San Francisco, 25 minutes to 26 seconds. But in the end, San Francisco they just knew how to pull it out. They knew how to make the win. And when you have one penalty for 5 yards, when your opponent has 4 penalties for 25 yards, and you still lose, that means that team's got your number. They just do. There's just no way around it.
Yeah, I think that needs to be reiterated because that's something that I had noticed as well. For the Rams to have 73 plays and the 49ers to have as many as they did, it just doesn't.
Yeah,
Just,
49.
yeah, so 49ers to have I thought I was reading it wrong.
No, 49 have 49
73
plays.
to 40, 73 to 49. I mean, it's not like a huge difference, but it is a difference, especially when you have the offense that these Rams are supposed to have. I mean, granted, Cooper Cup went off. Let's not overshadow that. Cooper Cup balled out, but as the Debo and like.
But they always do a good job in getting Cooper involved. Like they call great plays
Well,
that get him the ball quickly.
and that's also because Matthew Stafford refuses to look anywhere else unless you're
Yes.
Tyler Higbee or Cooper Cup. Allen Robinson signed there to do the same thing we're all doing, is watch people play football. He doesn't even get involved.
Facts.
It doesn't matter who is in the backfield. Doesn't matter what's going on. The 49ers can and will always run the ball efficiently. And Jeff Wilson, that touchdown run that he got the ball, had to make one cut, perfectly blocked. Even without some of their offensive linemen, they're still able to do it. And I'm not here to slander Jimmy G. I've been rough on him for a while, but like Smitty said, all the guy does is win. Even when he had to be thrusted in when Tom Brady was hurt, he went in and played for the Patriots. All he did was win. He went out there, he completed passes to 6 different pass catchers on the day, and not everybody can go out there and do stuff like that. So I think he deserves an apology from some people, and Shanahan's just a good coach, and as long as he's at the helm, they're going to be okay.
Kevin, he was on the edge of his seat to watch his Maryland Terrapins on a rainy Saturday in College Park, but he calmed down enough for touchdown Terps.
On the edge, yeah, that's definitely correct. And then especially Sunday, it got worse. But the Terps defeated Michigan State 27-13 on Saturday. The Terps won at 14-7 in the first quarter and never gave up the lead. They scored 21 points in the first half. The Spartans held Tagovailoa in the offense is just 6 second half points. Michigan State, they scored 13 points in the first half and was held scoreless in the second half. Tagovailoa for Maryland went 32 for 41 for 314 yards and a touchdown. Littleton had 19 rushes for 120 yards and 1 touchdown. On the opposite end, Thorne went 27 for 44 for 221 yards and a touchdown. And Collins rushed for 5 rushes for 36 yards. Up next, Michigan goes home to face the undefeated 5-0 Ohio State Buckeyes on Saturday at 4 p.m. as for our Terps. We'll host the 3-2 Purdue Boilermakers on Saturday. We kick off at 12 p.m. And that's your touchdown Terps. Let's find out what's making news around the NFL. Brandon has your halftime headline.
Looks like the Steelers, they're finally turning the page on Mitch Trubisky. Kenny Pickett is slated to start Sunday's game in Buffalo. Trubisky was benched at halftime last weekend against the Jets. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, he's hopeful that quarterback Dak Prescott can return sooner rather than later. Speaking on local radio Tuesday, Jones said that he didn't rule out Dak for Sunday, but he noted that he's not well enough to play right now. Backup quarterback Cooper Rush is holding down the fort with a 3-0 record this season. The Broncos, they're making some moves to their running back room. The team signed Latavius Murray from the Saints practice squad. His addition comes as their leading rusher, Javonte Williams, will be out for the season with a gruesome knee injury. Everyone, this is the Purple Huddle Podcast. Other winners from Week 4 include Cincy topped Miami on Thursday Night Football. Knicks Vikings, they edged the Saints in London. The Falcons improved to 2-2 after a home win against the Browns. Durp's Cowboys crushed the Commanders. The Titans pulled to 500 after a road win in Indianapolis. Giants, they beat the Bears. Ravens gave up another double-digit lead and fell to the Bills. The Chargers posed as a problem for the Texans. Cardinals handled the Panthers. The Raiders finally got a win. The Broncos were the victims in that case. And the Chiefs win the Super Bowl rematch, beating Tampa Bay by 10 at Raymond James Stadium. Detroit is playing some really good football. They put up 45 points, but still lost to the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Lions, I just don't know why they keep finding ways to lose games. They keep finding ways. They got off to a slow start and they wound up freaking losing the game. And they have a great team. I understood that they lost. They didn't have St. Brown and they didn't have Swift, but that wasn't no excuse for them to lose that game. They got off to a slow start, and Jared Goff got off to a slow start, and it put them behind the eight ball. They gotta be better. They have a good team, and they honestly should be able to get into the playoffs if they stop screwing around. Like they really do have a good all around team. It just they gotta stop making stupid plays.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with old Jared Goff there from the NFC West, his days with the Rams and whatnot, seeing him twice a season. Um, Josh Reynolds as well. But it seems like that old connection from the Rams came into play a lot during this one. Um, I don't have the yardage in front of me right now, but it was a few catches for a few yards and definitely a trip to the end zone. I think he did a pretty good job filling in for St. Brown, who was definitely sorely missed. And we haven't seen a whole lot of DJ Chark since he came to Detroit, but I'm looking forward to some of that as he gets some rapport with Jared Goff. I just kind of hope Goff doesn't revert back to his usual form. He's in all the time that I've seen him in the league so far, he has some really stellar moments, but those seem to be the outliers. Consistently, he's just extremely mid. We'll see if he can pick it up though. One thing I will say about it is the Lions have zero quit under Dan Campbell. So they're not going to throw in the towel on nobody. It doesn't matter what the score is.
The defense is not going to be the problem. Before I'm sorry to interrupt, but the defense is never going to be the problem because Dan Campbell, he plays an aggressive style defense, and you saw it in Atlanta. He plays an aggressive style zone defense, which is like a cover three, and he presses up on these dudes. He's forcing you to make the proper read. The defense ain't the problem. It's just like I really don't know. Like they have the team that can actually win games. It's just that they can't close out the game. It really is. They just cannot close it out and get the dub because
that's true.
They really do have a team to win it.
What I'll add to that though is from the other side of the ball, Geno has been playing fantastic this season. I think we definitely need to give that man some credit. If not, he ain't writing back. That he already said it. So yeah, he's looks fantastic. So I mean, I feel like just as hungry as the Lions are to win, Geno, maybe not the rest of the Seahawks, but Geno is definitely hungry. He's hungry to prove himself. I'd like to see them get the ball to Rashad Penny a little more, and not just because he's on my fantasy roster. I think he'll help them win. I mean, it's that simple. I think he'll help them win. The Seahawks have traditionally done very well with a strong run game. I don't see why you move away from that.
He ran 17 carries for 151. How much more do you want from that man?
Well, this is the first time this season.
Oh,
so that's why I say it.
Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. He's been single digit fantasy points up till now.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I was looking at his numbers. Where does he?
Yeah, like Smitty said, Geno's been playing lights out. Big shout out goes to him. DK balled out to the point where he had to be carted off. He damn near left it all on the field. You know what I'm saying? I just want to touch on the Lions defense or whatever. They are Lions have scored 140 points this year, most in the NFL. They average 35 points a game, yet they're 1-3. And there's a reason for that, and it's their defense. They have the number one scoring offense in the league and the 32nd ranked scoring defense. Last I checked, there's only 32 teams in the league.
Yep.
So they're yeah. And just another little nugget that I found out: the Seahawks have scored 48 or more against the Lions in back-to-back games. They haven't scored 48 plus against anyone else since 2012.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, they love to run it up on them. But Yeah, I think the Lions, like I said, the Lions, they don't really know how to maintain success, just like the Jaguars. Like I said earlier, these teams that like they get hot every once in a while, and then I don't know if they just get full of themselves or they just stop preparing or they lose the fire, whatever it may be. I mean, at the end of the day, you still put up, all these points and everything. Nobody expected Geno and them to come out and put up the amount of points that they did, but we say it every week. They like playing for Dan Campbell, and I think this injury bug kind of hit them harder than maybe they expected it to. But at the end of the day, they still played a solid game. I think if they can get this defense from 32nd to even like 18th, 17th, something like that, then they will be a very formidable team to play against. Because I mean, if they're putting up 35 a game, then their offense obviously is not the problem. And since we're talking fantasy teams, shout out to Hawkinson for finally putting up some numbers, even though I still lost. But hopefully they continue. Hopefully they continue to look his way, because I think he's one of the best up and coming tight ends in the league. But yeah, I think once they get healthy on offense, it'll help their defense even more. And like I said, if they can get their defense up from out of the 30s, out of the 20s, like I said, even 18, 19 or something like that, I think they'll be all right.
What more can we summarize with this? I mean, pretty much the Lions squandered I never thought I'd say this, a good Jared Goff performance. I mean, 26 for 39, 378 yards, 4 touchdowns and 1 pick. That should win you the game right there. But you gotta give your hats off to Geno, 23 for 30, 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you look at the statistics of this game, you look at the stats, they were pretty much even straight down the board. Both teams had 21 first downs. Passing total yards of offense, the Seahawks had 555, the Lions had 520. Seahawks had 9 total drives, Lions had 11. Passing yards, the Seahawks had 320, and the Lions had 375. Now where the disparity shows is that the Lions had almost, the Seahawks had almost 100 more rushing yards than the Lions, 235 to 145. And then the time of possession, Seahawks had the ball 33:06 to the Lions 26:54. This Lions team is not a bad team. They just got to figure out a way of putting it all together and then making it consistent. I mean, once they do that, and once the defense can get up to the level of the offense, you're going to have a team that's not going to be looked over anymore. But they got to get that defense going, because the offense is there. Now it's time for the defense to step up.
All right, Kevin's boy Mitch Trubisky, he got benched on Sunday afternoon at halftime. The rookie 20th overall pick, Kenny Pickett, got the nod afterwards. But Zach Wilson showed off his 2022 debut and proved he's not only the MILF hunter, but also a touchdown machine.
Horrible game for Trubisky. His quarterback rating was 7.5. I didn't even know you could have a single-digit quarterback rating.
I don't know why you're acting surprised.
Why am I acting surprised? Because this is my man Trubisky, man. I didn't even know you could have it. He never even had a single-digit quarterback rating when he was dying in Chicago. The man was 7 for 13, 84 yards, an interception, 3 sacks for 26 yards. Yeah, that wasn't going to cut it. Tom was like, nope, you're done. But then he brings the Pickett. To Pickett's side, you know what? You think Trubisky was bad? Here, hold my beer. He threw 3 interceptions. It was just like it was. Yeah, I've got nothing. It's like they just played bad on offense, bad on defense, and they lost. And the Jets took advantage of it.
You know that there was a 7-year streak that the Jets had going, 50 straight games without winning back-to-back road games.
No, I didn't.
It was the longest streak in 19. Yeah, it was the longest streak in 19 years. Yeah.
Jesus.
I think in this one the Steelers just got outplayed, and there's not, like, I was trying to look at stats and trying to find like a big thing, and like the only thing, both teams were around 50% on third down. Like Steelers had the 4 picks, so the Jets 2, but like Kenny Pickett with him running in for rushing for 2 touchdowns. He's the first quarterback to ever do that in their debut.
Really?
Huh?
And like I read that a couple times and I was like, that doesn't even make sense. You're telling me no other quarterback has just been out there running for his life and like
never did that?
yeah, he's the
Damn.
first one to ever do it. I think as far as the Steelers go, I think they finally have something because they're actually looking to Pickens now. You got the Pickett to Pickens connection hopefully happening, and I think that this might actually be the first time we see a Mike Tomlin coach team finish under 500 because they're missing T.J. Watt something dreadfully. They're in the same kind of situation as the Packers are, where like the receivers aren't. You don't really know who's the number one, but it doesn't make sense because Deontay Johnson is so good, Claypool is decent, Pickens is really good, Freiermuth is good. You have the players, but it just for some reason they just can't get it clicking, and they just keep dropping these games to teams that they really shouldn't be losing to. But I'm all here for it. I'm here for it. 100%.
And Claypool had no targets in that game. None.
Yeah, he's only like 6'5". Why give him a chance? Why throw up the ball? You know, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, he's only 6'5" and can jump. He's got a 7'4" jump radius, right?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with the TJ Watt absence. I think that's the dagger for Pittsburgh this year. That defense does not play the same when he is not on the field. I mean, he's just got a way of disrupting an offense that it doesn't seem like they have somebody who can step in and fill those shoes for them right now. So it's going to be tough sledding for him. I have questions about Pickett. You know, obviously he's a rookie. That was a nice little tidbit, a nice little nugget of info there that Durp dropped on us. I definitely did not know that one. What I will say, though, I didn't catch a whole lot of this game. What I did catch over and over was a replay of the one pick deep ball he threw up for Claypool. That's not on Pickett, man. Claypool's got to go get that thing. It was a hell of a play by the corner on that one. The ball was a little behind him. He almost bent over backwards, it looked like, to swat that thing and put it up in the air for the trailing safety to come in and get it. But Claypool's got to go up and strong arm that thing. He's got to take that. Your quarterback trusts you to put it up there. Go do what you're paid for. Outside of that, I don't have a whole lot on this game. Not a whole lot on it.
For me, I just think that they should. It's been a long time coming for Trubisky to get his ass benched. He should have been benched. Pickett
Amen.
is the obvious person that should be the starter. But for some reason, Mike Tomlin saw something. I don't know what he saw, but Trubisky, he's like, oh yeah, I'm putting Trubisky as a starter. He made a bad decision. George Pickens, the dude's from UGA, the dude can ball. I watched him in UGA balling as a wide receiver. He can do the same thing. It's a matter of the protection, holding up so he can get the ball thrown to him. And you have to say this: the Steelers always happen to find a diamond in the rough with these wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
They always do it. They did it with Antonio Brown. They did it with freaking Juju. And now, eventually, they're going to do this with George Pickens. Pickens is going to be a good wide receiver. He's going to wind up making some good money because they have a good scheme to where they get these wide receivers paid. And eventually, he's going to be a good wide receiver. Like I said, Mitchell Trubisky, he should have never been the starter. It should have been Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett should have been started from day one, and he should have been progressing as the season goes on. And you're gonna have the growing pains. You as a rookie, the rookie's going to throw some passes where you just scratch your head like, yo, why did you throw that? And the rookie's gonna drop some dimes and be like, yo, that was one of the greatest passes I ever seen. You just got to go through it and let the rookies progress.
Before we look on to next week, both of our guests, they happen to be Michigan football fans.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Hail to
sir.
the victors. Been
Go
singing
Blue.
that song a lot this year, and I look forward to singing it a whole lot more every time we put that ball in the end zone. I had a lot of questions about our defense coming into this season. Aiden Hutchinson and David Ajabo both leaving in the draft. Those guys were the motor for this defense last season. But I think we've got some guys who are stepping up to fill those roles nicely. It's still early in the season. That's why we got these cupcake games on the schedule before we get into the the mix of it with the rest of the Big Ten. But this was a big challenge for us. Iowa is not a slouch team. Iowa is a very good team. Just ask anybody who's lined up against one of their tight ends in the NFL. That is tight end university right now. I don't care what nobody says.
George Kittle.
Absolutely. Now we got Mozzie Smith and we got Mike Morris, both on the D line this year. And to me, they look like studs. I'm a big fan of Mike Morris. He's got an extra connection on the team there too. His sister is actually our quarterbacks coach, one of our quarterbacks coaches. So shout out there to the sister. On the sidelines with a bro, getting them W's from Michigan. As well, we've got a young guy who's coming in on them third down, them sure enough passing downs. And I think we've got ourselves our new David Ajabo this year. With Mike Morris stepping up and being able to play that Aiden Hutchinson role. I think on them passing downs, we're gonna get in there. We're gonna see Iyabi Oki, number 18. We're gonna see him getting after that quarterback a whole lot. Check that name as this season goes on. I think you're gonna hear it a lot. And one other shout out to the defense real quick. Mike Sainristil, the converted wide receiver from last year. I mean, I remember watching this guy play receiver and just I'd have never guessed that he had that DB dog in him, but he damn sure does. I love watching that kid play.
I'm so glad that they beat Iowa because I thought me personally it was a trap game. I thought it was a trap game, that Iowa game, because Iowa and people don't realize Iowa has Georgia's defense. They just can't score for shit. That's the only thing about Iowa. If they actually had a quarterback that could actually pass and throw the ball, they would be exactly like Georgia, but they don't. The fact that Michigan went in there, not only did they score over freaking 14 points, they scored 27 points. And they beat Iowa by double digits.
In their house, where we usually don't do it either.
They don't do it. Like it's not easy to go into Iowa and win like that. The team is for real.
Definitely not.
Blake Corbin.
Yes.
That dude, Blake Corbin, that dude's a bad man. He's a bad man.
5'8", 209, but he is a wrecking ball.
Yes.
I remember thinking he was undersized last season. I'm telling you, somebody has been in the weight room during the offseason because he runs with power and speed. He makes quick cuts and commits to it. If you hadn't heard, homeboy leads the FBS right now in rushing touchdowns. He's got 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky little dark horse Heisman candidate. Keep an ear out for that name as the season goes on.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Him, I don't know about you, but I still I'm still a person that the play call it has to be a lot better. It really does. It's too predictable. Too predictable. We run the ball too.
What we got right now, we've got a couple of young guys who Harbaugh is letting call the plays though. So I think just like with the young talent on the team, I think as the season goes on, we'll see them get a little more comfortable with what they're doing. So that fingers crossed on that because it's definitely been a little messy.
Y'all should have never got these two started. They're not about to stop talking. Y'all know that.
But, they got 3 minutes.
Yeah, you talk about it.
I'm good. I'm done with all my notes.
I'm cut it off now.
No, can I ask another question though?
Yeah.
All right,
No questions. Go ahead, Kevin.
Let me ask. You guys talked about David Ajabo getting drafted. With him coming off that injury, what do Ravens fans have to look forward to with him?
Oh, he's a dog, man. He's a dog. He loves to get after that quarterback. He didn't get a lot of the shine because, he was playing opposite Hutchinson, who obviously got the higher draft pick. And then, going into the combine and whatnot, he hurt himself. So he wasn't able to really show what he had. But I think you guys have a lot to look forward to with him. I'm not going to put him all the way up there on that T-Sizzle level, but I don't think he's going to be too far from it.
Okay.
He's definitely not.
Okay.
He's definitely not too far from Ajabo. Like Ajabo, the way he progressed through the season last year and became a top freaking 10 pick. If it wasn't for him getting, I feel bad that he got injured on his pro day to where he got to miss a whole year.
I feel
He can
bad,
do
but
the
I'm
same
happy we
thing.
got him.
He can do the same exact thing because Jim Harbaugh's defense puts them in the position to freaking make plays. So I, he's going to do it. He's going to do the same exact thing that Ajabo did. The same exact thing.
All right, gentlemen. It's already week 5. Here's the slate for next week. Colts and Broncos on Thursday Night Football. The Giants and Packers are in London for Sunday morning football. Kenny Pickett, he'll get the start in Buffalo for the Steelers against the Bills. Chargers at Browns, Bears at Vikings, Lions at Patriots, Seahawks at Saints in the Superdome, Dolphins at Jets, Falcons at Bucks in the NFC South, Titans at Commanders, Texans at Jags. In the late slate, we have 49ers at Panthers, Cowboys at the Super Bowl champion Rams, Eagles at Cardinals. Sunday Night Football features Cincy and Baltimore, and the Raiders at the Chiefs. Gentlemen, one game and one bowl prediction.
Of course, the game I'm looking forward to is my Cowboys playing those Rams. I just want to see if we can. I feel like the 49ers kind of showed how to beat them. You just got to show pressure, and we can show pressure. So I think we can definitely do that. And my bold prediction, I have 2 because the first one kind of has an asterisk beside it. If JT doesn't play for the Colts, I have Naheem Hines leading all running backs in fantasy points this week. And and my other one is I think that Zach Wilson will shock the two-less Dolphins, and he throws for 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards.
Okay.
Got him.
Gotcha. My game is Ravens Bengals. Want to see how my Ravens bounce back from blowing yet another double-digit lead, especially against a team that no matter what the records are, always seems to have their number. In the Bengals, doesn't matter who's their quarterback. As far as my bowl predictions, I got 2. One was that Zach Wilson would come back. He's going to throw for 2 touchdowns, rush for 1, and then when the Jets upset the Dolphins 24-10. My other one is that the Giants will sack Aaron Rodgers 4 times. Yeah. Giants will sack Aaron Rodgers 4 times, and the Giants beat the Packers in London 34-21. What about you, Nick?
I'm freaking bullshit. Yeah, I got the bold prediction. Giants are going to beat the Packers. I think Danny Dimes going to throw some downs and beat the Packers and get an upset win on the Packers. But the game to watch is obviously Bengals and Ravens. That is going to be a good game to watch. You got freaking Lamar Jackson, and you have freaking Joe Burrow, 2 great quarterbacks, and they're going to light up the score. That's going to be a very, 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 very good game to watch on Sunday.
Yeah, I got let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and kill 2 birds with 1 stone with mine here. We're gonna go with Detroit versus New England as my game to watch. I think it's gonna be a scrappy slugfest. All right. Now, my bold prediction that's coming out of that is I got Detroit going into Foxborough and taking the W. They're gonna get the first win this week. I'm gonna call it by double-digit margin of victory as well. Aiden Hutchinson will have 2 or more sacks in the game. Campbell's got those boys playing hungry. And despite Belichick's genius, I think the Pats are a bit of a wounded animal right now. The Lions are on the hunt. I think it goes down in Foxborough next week.
Yeah, I think that Lions and Patriots game is a sneaky good game. Like people are probably gonna sleep on that joint because it's the Lions. But you're exactly right about what you just said. Exactly right.
My game to watch, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh and Buffalo. I got the rookie going in there with my bold prediction, like Smitty. I'm two birds with 1 stone. Kenny Pickett's going to throw for 2 touchdowns and an upset in Buffalo. I've seen Buffalo lose games midseason in their house, games that they should win. And we all know Mike Tomlin's going to have those guys ready to play. And I think this team is going to rally around Kenny Pickett as well. All right, everyone. Let us know what you think about the show and follow us on Twitter at Purple Huddle Pod. Special thanks to Smitty and Nick for coming on the show. You guys are welcome back anytime.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it,
Thank you,
man.
I'm sure I'll be back at some point.
Absolutely. Be easy, everyone.